Hey everybody, Becca from Pacific Paws Canine Academy. My homegirl Jada, J Money. So I don't normally do talking videos. I don't typically put my generalized opinions out there in video format. But I have seen a really disturbing trend lately with the dogs and the owners, the families that I've met in the last month or two. And even before that, honestly, but lately I've been seeing this a lot, and it just seems to be more of a problem than before. It's always been a problem, but just exponentially more so. And maybe it's because I take on almost exclusively difficult dogs that I see this so often. I don't know. I offer a lot of different programs. I do offer puppies and basic obedience and stuff, but the vast majority of my clientele is severe behavior, fear and anxiety, but also dog aggression, reactivity issues, human aggression, stranger danger, handler aggression, all kinds of different things, right? It's not a walk in the park with these dogs. These are major behavioral rehabs, overhauls. It takes time. It takes a variety of tools and methods. It takes a repertoire of experience. The hundreds of dogs that I've had hands on in the last few years are the driving force behind why I continue to do what I do, right? It's not easy work, guys. It's not. I care about your dogs as much as you care about your dogs. And I want to see them successful. The disturbing trend that I've been noticing is that not all trainers feel the same way, or behaviorists, or dog whisperers, or whatever it is that they're calling themselves. I've had so many phone calls and Facebook messages and in-person consultations with owners who have told me that I'm trainer number 3, 4, 5, 6, or more than that. There have been a couple who have either worked with or spoken with up to or over a dozen trainers. This is not just like an isolated incident. This isn't just 1 or 2 dogs. This is probably 75% or more of the calls, messages that come in for help with their dogs, right? And a lot of these dogs have some pretty severe stuff going on. They might have a couple of different things going on. There might be some human aggression that's rooted in anxiety. There might be some reactivity that's rooted in fear. They might, whatever. But time and time again, these owners are sold obedience, or they're sold cookies and love, and it's going to be okay. But if it's not okay, here's some Prozac, and if that doesn't work, then maybe just euthanize your dog. I can't get behind that. I can't get behind chemical inhibitors so the dog's doped up and isn't able to enjoy being a dog over a little bit of discomfort during the training process. I am sick of hearing that they reached out to me because shock collars are evil, but I don't want to kill my dog, and I've already been through 4 or 5 pure positive trainers and it hasn't worked, but I want to try, but your videos, you have happy dogs and they used to have problems, they don't have problems anymore, and I don't understand it. Guys, the secret's balance. It's balance. It's yes and no. It's clarifying the information. it's giving the dog a foundation. It's giving the owners the knowledge, not just the tools, but the knowledge, the why. Why is your dog afraid? Why is your dog reacting like this? What can we do to prevent this from happening in the first place? Or what can we do when the situation arises, right? How do we catch it? How do we work through it? And hey, if we miss the moment, how do we move on? How do we get through a setback? And I'm at a loss because I keep seeing the same things happening with these people. They're being sold a lie, right? I keep running into people who have been failed by the trainers and behaviorists that they trusted. They've been sold a dream, right? And it turned out to be a waste of money and time. And that's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, the dogs have gotten worse. Worst case scenario, they're now biting people or dogs. I guess that's not actually the worst case scenario. The absolute worst case scenario is that they're dying. They're being put down because rather than set your ego aside, trainers, you're saying, I can't help the dog, or I don't want to correct the dog. Love can't fix this dog, so you should kill the dog. That's not the options. There are additional options. So that's where I'm at. Because I had another consult tonight, and once again, these folks are good people. They have rescued this dog. They're involved in the rescue community, fostering dogs. They're dedicated, doing the right thing for their dog, right? And they hired a behaviorist before, and the behaviorist gave them a plan of action and these things, but you can have a plan of action all day long to mitigate symptoms, but mitigating symptoms doesn't address the problem. And this is really, really common, right? Where we're addressing the symptoms, but not the problem. And the only reason I can come up with for why these trainers are addressing symptoms and not the problem, and recommending drugs or euthanasia over balanced training and a complete set of information for the dog, is that they are crippled by their own ignorance and their egos at the same time. Their egos don't allow them to look outside of their comfort zones, or to look outside of the methods and the tools and the mantras that they've grown accustomed to, or that they've been taught, right, for so long. People don't want to set their egos aside and say, well, I can't or won't fix this problem, address this problem. But hey, there's a trainer down the road that can, or city over, that can help you out with this. They would sooner kill the dog than refer out. And it's not just trainers. Okay, so this is part B, is that it's not just trainers, it's also vets. And the same owner that I met with tonight told me of a dog that was euthanized per vet recommendation and per behavior recommendation without exploring alternative options for training. So that dog I didn't meet. The dog's gone. But people who knew the dog didn't believe that that was the only option. But the professionals, the behaviorist, the veterinarian, made them feel that euthanizing the dog was the only option. It's not. I don't take that lightly. Dogs are sentient beings. They think and they feel and they remember, and they're smart and they're adaptive. And we don't deserve them. But since we've domesticated them, that's our job. And ethically, in my opinion, all options should be exhausted before telling somebody that they need to kill their animal, kill their pet. It's disturbing. It is absolutely disturbing to me. And what's, I think, the most disturbing part for me is that veterinarians, not all of them, there are some really wonderful vets, but again, trend would rather prescribe medication or take the recommendation of a behaviorist with who knows what kind of qualifications, really, take the recommendation that the dog should be euthanized without exploring the other options that are out there. Now, when I talk to vets and I talk to owners and other trainers, the one thing that I always want to impress upon people is that it's not about us, the humans. It is, but it's not. We need our dogs to reasonably behave and exist to a certain standard. But, in my opinion, more importantly, the dogs need clarity. They need to feel secure. And they need to be treated like dogs, not like humans, like dogs. They're sentient beings. They exist and they feel and they have needs, but they're canine. They're not human. And you can't look at a dog, right, and just decide that because you can't help it, that there are no options. And owners, I want you to know that there are options for you. Okay? They may be few and far between. You know, trainers are hard to find that do this kind of work. But if you're not in my area and you're watching this, please reach out. If you're struggling with your dog, please reach out. I would be more than happy to recommend somebody in your area who can help you, or try to help you remotely as best I can. But there are options, guys. It's rare that dogs are so far gone that they can't be helped. So that's that. And I don't know if anybody's still with me. It's been like 15 minutes almost, but I needed to get that off my chest. It's really bothering me that these recommendations are continuing to be made, that medications and symptom management and sometimes death are prescribed over a quality balanced trainer, or just setting your own ego aside and going, hey man, I can't help you, but you know, maybe there's somebody who can. Let me see if I can find somebody for you. I hope that the training industry improves, and I hope that owners feel empowered to look for better options for your dogs. Keep looking. Get reviews, testimonials, watch them train. A good trainer will know how to help you and your dog. But that doesn't mean every trainer. And there are good trainers out there who can't help you, but are good at other things. I know next to nothing about detection. I'm decent at obedience. My strength is behavior modification. I'm not out there teaching detection, right? That's not ethical. I'll teach obedience, sure. But those hard dogs, you guys, that's a hard dog right there, okay? When I got Jay, she had a lot of issues. She was almost 6 years old. She had had some traumatic experiences prior to her rescue. She was fearful with people. She had some food aggression, resource guarding, dog aggression issues, a lot of generalized fear and anxiety. She also had some physical things going on, some medical stuff in terms of like allergies. It was a long road. It was a long road of discovering the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that dog right there is exactly why I'm here, why I'm doing this. Because she is living proof at 10 and a half years old that balance training saves lives, that good balance training saves lives, that e-collars are wonderful, that prong collars are great, that guidance and leadership and structure, just, they do a lot for a dog. Give them a chance. We'll see.